almost the same like situation you had. I also had, there was one very good company, and I tell you a little deep story of it. Like the first company, which was in Navi Mumbai, that was collection agency. During those days, in the year of 2008-9, guys who would work in that company would get an incentive of 1 lakh, 10
Yeah.
thousand rupees. All right. All right, Avijit, thank you so much for being in my podcast. Thank you for finding time to come here and do this podcast with me. All right. So my viewers who are there on YouTube, they will be knowing about you. I know that most of the time you are on Instagram. So I will go ahead and also mention about your Instagram page. By the way, you can tell me if it is familiar to them. They will also go and check your page.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. Hey, buddy. How are you doing today? It's great to meet you. My name is Avijit Khanna, guys. Everyone who's watching me, it's good to see you. I mean, I met you online, and we thought about, okay, let's do a podcast. You also love English language. I also love English language. We're gonna discuss a lot of things
Yes.
about here, and you can find me on Instagram. My name by the name Psych Nation. So it's basically psychology of communication, but you will find it under PSYCHE underscore
Okay.
NATION underscore.
Oh,
That's how
okay.
you can
Got
find
it.
me easily, and you can connect with me if you want to.
What I was very uh actually this is a very unique name. So
Mm.
I got a little bit different idea when I saw that. At night
Yeah,
I
you told
received
me.
your message. So you tell me the name, the behind you thought about giving this kind of name to your page. What's the
Yeah,
first
that's
thing I
that's a
want to
good
know?
question. That's a great question, by the way. Yeah. So it's Psych Nation, PSYCHENATION. So it's basically I was always thinking about. I'm always curious about the psychology behind the human connections. And the way I look at English language or any other language is just a part. English is just a communication tool. We use it to interact with people. And because I have been in the communication space for the last 10 plus years as a part of the corporate industry, I was working in the BPO sectors. Then when I got promoted as a trainer, I had to take a lot of sessions. It's all about communicating, negotiations, sales, collection, and all of that. So
Mhm.
this idea of psychology, because in sales you have to really understand the other person first. It's always about the audience. It's always about who you're talking to. You have to understand their psychology if you want to interact with them, if you want to communicate and connect with them. So it's not just so anyone can do the talking. Like if you want to just learn English for the sake of learning a language, yes, you can do it yourself as well. But if you want to learn it properly, professionally, like you want to have that clarity in your thoughts, you want to learn the right way to say the things, then you need someone who has been a part of communication coach who understands the practicality behind communication. And that's where I feel like I bring my uniqueness to everything. And that's the idea behind the psychology, the question you asked me.
Right. Oh, great. Thank you so much for giving that much of information.
Yeah.
All right. So I got to know about you yes recently. So I just want to know like uh, I want to know a little bit about you and your professional journey. Like from where did you start? How did you go into this industry, voice industry? It is called the collection. And why did you choose this collection? Did you hear from someone else? How did you come to know? If you can tell me a little bit about it.
I mean, when I was, that's again a good question. And when I was a small kid, my father always told me when you grow up, you have to, become one of the best top debt collectors in the industry. I'm just kidding with you, man. That was not the idea. I mean, it just happened. You never know what's going to happen, right? So I was just a part of. I'll tell you initially what happened after I passed my 12th. I passed with good grades. Like I was one of the toppers in my school. So it was a wonderful journey in my school. Earlier, I was not that good of a student, but then I started studying and got into like the science field, and it was just awesome experience for me to study, and I became that studious person. But then a lot of financial problems happened because of which I had to find a job for myself. So first, I figured out there are a lot of event companies that are hiring these people, for event basis, but that just didn't work out for me. They're not even paying good to guys. They're only paying good to. They only want the girls, the young girls, but not paying
Mm-hmm.
that good to guys. So it just didn't work out for me. For 40 days, they're paying like what. Okay, I don't want to get into all of that. Let's stick to the question. That's just to going in here and there. Sticking to the question you asked me, how I got into the voice industry, I've always wanted to talk to people. I've always loved interacting with people genuinely. Like I'm interacting with you, like ever since I was a young kid as well, I was always trying to interact with the foreign people, like because you get so much different idea. You get culturally connected, how they talk, what they do. I'm always into that. I'm always into people. I'm always trying to understand more about people. So less about
Got
like
it.
my ideas and more about understanding them. So I've always been a part of that. When I find out there's a BPO industry we can just go into, it pays good, by the way. A lot of people have this idea that BPO doesn't pay good. It pays really nice if you know
Right.
where to go, what to do. So I got into this voice. First, I couldn't even crack the voice interviews. So I got
Hmm.
rejected so many times. I was talking about like 10 years ago. I'd been rejected so many times that I had like almost thought of giving up, but I couldn't, there's like a lot of financial burden I had to work. So I thought again, applied again. So first I went to a non-voice industry. For 8 months, I was working in Concentrics, the email support. I was just doing
Okay.
that. And that's when I, figured out I have to work on my English if I want to earn good. I have to talk in English. I need to get to the voice part of the things because that is what really pays good in customer services. So first, I went to customer service. After Concentrix, 8 months, I went to Converges. I cracked the interview finally because I was working on my English for those 8 months. I just kept going at it, going at it, going at it because like I just couldn't figure out. I know English, but why can't I speak? I just couldn't understand what the problem is. What the hell is the problem? So excuse my French here, right? Just couldn't understand what the problem is. So then I worked at it. I got better. I got better. I kept on improving. Then I became someone like I just can't leave English. It's just so embedded into me. And now I can't leave English. Now people ask me like why I became a communication coach, and it's just in me. It's like it runs in my blood. I can't say anything. I can't think about anything. It's just like that. So I went into the corporate side, so Convergys, customer services, and all that. I did customer service for 2.5 years, and then after that, I went. Then figured out I have to, I need more money. So I was not getting a promotion there. And I figured
Yeah,
out,
customer service, they don't pay that much. Any fixed amount you will
yeah,
be getting. No incentives, no extra money.
they were paying okay. They were paying decently good. So I was still earning like 35,000 around that much. Yeah, I was
Okay.
talking about the customer services part that after 2.5 years, because I realized I could earn more. I mean, I have more potential. I could earn more. Then I gave three separate interviews and I had three more offer letters after Convergys. Like, so I had one, so it was different companies. So, but I decided to stick with Encore, Midland Credit
All things,
Management.
all the companies you worked with was in Delhi, right?
Delhi,
You never
Gurgaon,
went out
Noida,
of
Delhi
any
NCR.
other city?
No, Delhi NCR. It
Okay.
was always Delhi NCR.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so that's when I got stuck with collection because everybody talked about encore and collection, and that idea just got stuck with me. I didn't even go into collection to earn a lot of incentives or the money thing. It's just
Hmm.
the idea behind collection was everybody was talking about it, and it was like it became like the next huge thing. That if you're not doing going in collections, you're missing on
You're
to the
missing.
next big thing. And I didn't know that because I had not
Same
worked
thing.
in
Same
sales.
thing.
Oh, great.
Same thing happened
Yeah,
with
that's
me.
great. Because
Yes.
I had no idea before that, like, okay, something like collections exists in the market and
I
I'm missing onto that. Okay.
I
Yeah.
could relate to that. Yeah,
Similar thing
almost.
happened with you. What happened to you? Tell me.
Almost. Not the same thing, but I could relate to that. Like the situation you went through, probably not exact things I did and exact thing I started, but it was very similar to me. Like the first company I worked with was domestic one,
Hmm.
domestic Airtel Digital company, if you know. Airtel Digital, the cable network, they used to provide all the TV cable. I started with, then I also faced a lot of interviews, a lot of rejections. Check the time. All right, so coming back to that same, the almost the same like situation you had. I also had, there was one very good company, and I tell you a little deep story of it. Like the first company, which was in Navi Mumbai, that was collection agency. During those days, in the year of 2008-9, guys who would work in that company would get an incentive of 1 lakh, 1 lakh, ten
Yeah,
thousand rupees.
exactly.
That time it was a huge amount. Like in today's time, if you can compare 3-4 lakhs rupees a month, is a huge amount. So people used to get. I would hear a lot of stories, then I would always think like, was it possible for me to get into that company? And I also tried. You won't believe, 3 times I got rejected in that from that company. In the fourth attempt, I got into that company, but that was little late. But
Hmm.
yes, I got good because that company then shifted to another city like
Yeah.
Pune. I could only work for 2 months, 2 years in that company. That was my first collection company. But working in that company was really, really, really awesome. I would have missed that opportunity. It was giving too much comfortness to its employee.
Hmm.
Everything you could do on your desk, eat, drink. I mean, not drink as such, but whatever you
Soft
carry
drinks.
or with you, yes, everything would be allowed. And then giving you extra work hours if you can't complete your target, then you get 2 hours extra work hours, 4 hours, and I used to get paid almost double I never got in my entire another company where I got
Yeah.
paid double for the doing 3 4 hours of shift. So I got that opportunity. It was Trackmill, one of the best company. You will also see a couple of videos on YouTube. So from there also I had started. So yeah, that was also the same story. I could relate it.
Last year I decided. So I left my job in December 2023. Then my health was really going bad. Like it was until like June and July that I started getting back on my feet and everything. So from July to November, December, you can say I had been teaching people for free. I'll just teach you because I wanted to make the perfect course for people. I'd been doing my research, what others are teaching, what are their methods, what do they do? Like even the British Council and even the best institutes out there, English. There are like so many people out there teaching English. So I had to obviously you have to stand out in some ways. That's one. Second thing, you need to have an effective way to train. That when you train some people, you get results out. So that's why I started teaching people for free, and I got this idea from Alex Hormozy. If you know about Alex Hormozy, I'm sure everyone knows about Alex Hormozy in today's day. So I've learned a lot of like business strategies, how you should like what is the right way to do business and all of that. Like, you should get testimonials, you should, you should have people, you should have your product so amazing that people talk about it. So that is what I'm trying to build. I'm trying to right now currently doing all of that in the last like from July till December, I made a course that I will only take 20 sessions from you, only 20 sessions, and you will be speaking in English fluently. I will not say that fluently doesn't mean like I'm talking right now because I have like 10 years of experience. So I'm not saying you'll become like
Right.
me, but you will not have that hesitation anymore that you have right now. Actually, I will remove that hesitation in the first 3 4 sessions, depending on what level you are and all of that. Because English language, I'll give this bit tip for everyone. English language or any other language, it works on acquisition. The more you're able to absorb, the more you will be able to speak. So first, you should have that input in your language, and that is what we are working upon. That's like the whole core thing of that. Your input should be solid. If you can't even understand it, then forget about speaking.